Times Channel 260. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of May 2025. My name is Joe Igbo. In our news headlines this afternoon, the Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, has approved the immediate removal of the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Chief Cyprian Akolisa, from office. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has said the results of this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, showed remarkable improvements in the performances of candidates in the last 12 years. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has announced that the Port Harcourt Refinery shut down for maintenance will last for 30 days. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting the rights, dreams, and futures of every Nigerian child as the nation marks the 2025 International Children's Day today. Now the details of the news. The Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, has approved the immediate removal of the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Chief Cyprian Akolisa, from office. The announcement was made in a statement issued by the Commissioner for Information, Public Orientation and Strategy, Mr. Declan Emelumba. According to the statement, Chief Akolisa has been directed to hand over all government property in his possession to the State Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Justice without delay. Mr. Melumba added that the action was as a result of minor cabinet reshuffle to rejig the administration of Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. The Abia State Police Command has arrested a couple, Sunday Emebo 42 and Blessing Emebo 49, for allegedly operating an unregistered motherless baby's home and engaging in child trafficking. According to a statement issued by the Police Public Relations Officer ASP Maureen Chinaka, the arrest was made following credible intelligence received by the command. The victims rescued include Ojugo Caleb, male 14 years, Christian Okolo, male 12 years, Samuel Okoro, male 13 years, Clinton Nkema Kolam, male 9 years, Godwin Emmanuel, male 10 years. Others include Usinachi Nkema Kolam, male 6 years, Marvelous Emmanuel, male 5 years, David Emmanuel, male 7 years, Testimony Emebo, male 2 months, Ogechi Nkema Kolam, female 9 years, Chinaza Okoro, female 9 years, and Anointing Okoro, female 7 years. The suspects were found in possession of 12 children aged between 6 months and 14 years from different villages in Arochukwu. The police said the rescued children have been safely handed over to the Ministry of Women Affairs for custody. Meanwhile, investigations are ongoing. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has withdrawn the compulsory voting bill which scaled through second reading last week. The bill, which was jointly sponsored by Abbas and Daniel Asama Ago, sought to make voting in elections in the country mandatory for all Nigerians of 18 years and above. The bill, which prescribed 100,000 naira fine or a jail term of 6 months for defaulters, has been widely condemned since it passed second reading. The Speaker, in a statement by his Special Advisor, Media and Publicity, Musa Krichi, yesterday said he was withdrawing the proposed legislation following extensive consultation with stakeholders. According to him, from the outset, the bill was introduced with the best of intentions, which is to bolster civic engagement and strengthen our democracy by encouraging higher voter turnout. He said compulsory voting has long been practiced with notable success in countries like Australia, Belgium, and Brazil, where it has helped sustain participation rates above 90%, while nations like Argentina and Singapore have also implemented similar measures to foster inclusivity at the ballot box. The federal government has commenced the long-awaited payment of the 35,000 naira wage award to federal workers across the country. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the spokesperson for the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, OAGF, Bawa Mokwa, yesterday. According to the statement, several federal government employees have already confirmed receipt of the payment, while others who are yet to receive theirs will be paid in due course. The OAGF also addressed recent media reports alleging that the 35,000 naira wage award was excluded from the 2025 national budget. It clarified that the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Babatunde Ogunjimi, never made such a statement. The OAGF assured that the arrears will be paid as earlier promised by the federal government, explaining that the payments will be made in monthly installments of 35,000 naira each over a 5-month period. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has said the result of this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, showed remarkable improvements in the performance of candidates in the last 12 years. An analysis of the data from the board showed an upward trend in performances of candidates who sat for the examination. The board also released the results of candidates who wrote the UTME receipt examination, saying that 21,082 candidates were absent out of the 336,845 candidates who were scheduled after isolated good sessions of the affected centers were excluded and their previously unverified candidates were added. The official data released by JAMB's Public Communications Advisor, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, showed that 17,025 candidates, representing 0.88% of the total 1,931,467 who sat for the 2025 UTME, scored 300 and above. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has announced that the Harcourt Refinery shut down for maintenance will be for 30 days. But officials gave the assurance that there will be no petrol scarcity during the period. NNPCL at the weekend halted operations to allow for checks on the equipment, raising fears of negative effect on petrol supply. The stoppage of operations came 6 months after the November 26, 2024 completion of its $1.5 billion rehabilitation. An official of the company told newsmen yesterday that it has made contingent arrangements to ensure seamless product supply for the 30 days that the routine maintenance of the plant would last. Allaying fears of disruption in petrol supply or product scarcity, the official said the NNPCL will rely on multiple sources to ensure that Nigerians do not experience any form of hardship during the maintenance. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has issued a new directive mandating telecom service providers to promptly inform consumers of any major network outages. The directive also requires advance notice for planned outages and offers a framework for compensating users affected by prolonged service disruptions. NCC said telecom operators must use media channels to notify consumers of the cost, location, and expected restoration time for any service outage. For planned outages, operators are now required to provide at least 1 week's notice to affected customers. The directive applies to all mobile network operators, internet service providers, and other last-mile service providers. Where a major outage exceeds 24 hours, operators must provide proportional compensation to affected consumers, including possible extension of service validity in line with the Consumer Code of Practice regulations. The directive marks a significant stride in the NCC's ongoing efforts to improve quality of service and uphold consumer rights across Nigeria's rapidly growing digital landscape. The federal government has inaugurated a ministerial panel to oversee the development and allocation of the 753-unit housing estate in Abuja, recently recovered from the immediate past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, who is facing fraud charges. The estate, located at Local Goma District, Abuja, was handed over to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, following a presidential directive as part of asset recovery efforts. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, who inaugurated the 12-member committee yesterday, said the assignment was critical to actualizing the housing component of President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. The committee, chaired by the ministry's permanent secretary, Shuaib Belgore, comprises senior directors across technical, engineering, procurement, financial, planning, and media departments. Dangiwa urged members to eliminate bottlenecks and deliver results with transparency and professionalism, saying that Nigerians are watching and want to see results. According to the terms of reference, the committee is expected to conduct a structural and integrity assessment of the housing units, determine the number and condition of the buildings, and evaluate the cost of completing key infrastructure such as internal roads, electricity, and water supply. The committee is expected to submit a preliminary report within 4 weeks. The All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Anambra State, Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu, has received the symbolic APC flag from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Speaking to newsmen after the event yesterday, Prince Ukachukwu said his party is set to defeat the incumbent governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo at the November 8 governorship elections. He premised his claim on the wide support for his candidacy, especially from supporters who joined him to defect from the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA), which is Soludo's party, to the APC. The APC candidate said he was more than ready to deliver Anambra to the APC and end what he described as the state's one-party system. He also revealed that multiple parties, including the Labour Party and YPP, were joining forces with APC in a growing coalition to defeat the incumbent government. He revealed the outcome of his meeting with President Tinubu, saying Tinubu was impressed with the level of preparation and the warm reception he received during his recent visit to Anambra State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting the rights, dreams, and futures of every Nigerian child as the nation marks the 2025 International Children's Day today. In an address to children across the country, the president described them as the pride and future of our nation, underscoring the government's moral, constitutional, and intergenerational duty to ensure their protection, development, and safety. President Tinubu said violence, bullying, and neglect have no place in the Nigeria of today, citing global statistics that show over 1 in 3 children experience bullying, with Nigerian studies estimating that up to 65% of school-age children affected by various forms of aggression. The president further urged every Nigerian to become a child protection champion, saying that laws alone will not be sufficient to protect our children. He said parents, teachers, caregivers, faith leaders, lawmakers, and citizens must take responsibility. To end the Sapientia news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. The Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodimma, has approved the immediate removal of the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Chief Cyprian Akodisa, from office. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has said the result of this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, showed remarkable improvements in the performances of candidates in the last 12 years. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has announced that the Harcourt Refinery shutdown for maintenance will last for 30 days. And finally, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting the rights, dreams, and futures of every Nigerian child as the nation marks the 2025 International Children's Day today. That was the Sapientia News Bulletin at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.